I'm live. Yay! I'm glad I'm alive. Okay. Don't see anyone up yet. Oh, I'll wait till I get a few comments there and then I'll start yakifying. Sorry, I'm a little late. Selling trees. Had a customer show. Had to take care of it. Wow, I can't believe it. Chris isn't there yet. Hey, G Wolfman. Good evening to you too. Oh, it's been an unpleasant day because it was just really slow. I mean, sitting out there waiting to sell trees all day, and I think I sold, I don't know, 4 or 5 all day long. Very, very boring. And especially so when I got so many things to do. So it gets very, very frustrating. Trying to get some nutrition in me here. Yeah, it's a tough time. I'm pretty sure that's one reason I'm not getting near as many customers as last year. Especially this weekend, I expected to get, reasonably busy. Not as busy as last weekend, but nah. I did better on Friday than I did on Sunday here. I was there for 12 hours, And sometimes it's pretty cold too. Just sitting there, that gets really unpleasant. It wasn't bad. It's only, I don't know, in the 50s, but just sitting there, it gets pretty cold. I wrap a comforter around my legs. Oh. I saw an interesting video today. It's by Bill Whittle. Hey, Cherokee, how's it going? Hey, Lars. Now, it'll be interesting to see how the algorithms react or don't to this. Even suggest I don't put a link in the description because it might cause issues. For those of you who don't know Bill Whittle, he's been doing conservative stuff on the internet for a long time. Very good speaker, pretty good thinker. And his video today was about how using kind of the idea of Atlas Shrugged, perhaps us makers should kind of decouple from the takers and see how well they can last without us. It's much better to go to the Superstitions Mountain than Montana, but unfortunately we have to go to Montana. And not looking forward to the temperatures up there. I don't think I'm going to have overheating as a major problem on the way up, though. What, for those of you who may not know, even though not too many people have showed up just yet, Eve and I are planning on going up to Montana first half of January. We'll be taking the Minor Bago and the big white beluga trailer. I'm going to try and load the trailer as light as possible, commensurate with the purposes of the trip. The trip is essentially exfiltration from Tucson to a more stable area, we believe. Arizona is now kind of a purple state, which means you got about equal left and right, which means that if things get dicey, it can get pretty dynamic. up in Montana, all my information is it's pretty lopsided in favor of the red, and therefore there's likely to be very little trouble because the conservatives generally don't start trouble, but they're perfectly willing to finish it if they have to. So in a situation like that, the left usually doesn't start trouble. We have accommodations lined up after the 10th. Now, depending upon what happens between now and the 10th, we may depart early and just deal with it. We can certainly live in the Bago if we have to. One of the complications of this trip, we're going to take a lot of food with us this trip, and a lot of canned food. We've spent a lot of time canning in recent months. And canned food doesn't take hard freezes very well. So I'm going to have to put it under the bed in the minor Bago for the transport and everything. And that way we know it'll stay above freezing. Well, the principal who had me up there this summer has assured me he has at least part-time work for me himself. I presume doing some of the extractive metallurgy research, but he also assures me that there's plenty of jobs up there for a multi-talented individual such as myself. So I assume I will be able to find some kind of gainful employment, and so should Eva. Strangely enough, I don't know if it's true in Montana. I do know it's true in Alaska. It's actually easier to get a job in the winter than the summer because there's a lot of people in Alaska, especially, at least I know in Alaska, that like to be there in the summer, but don't like to be there in the winter, and yet things have to be done in the winter too. So it's actually easier to find a job in the wintertime because there's nobody up there trying to go up there for the summer and have a nice, summer out of it. I do not know precisely what. I know Jim Durst up in Helena there. He's got a mining project that he's working on. If certain funding comes through, then he says, I got a month or two of work where we could do underground sampling. Sweet, Lars. Yeah, whenever you've got old milling equipment that's been used in the gold mine, it's not a bad idea to clean it out and go good and see what happens, especially like a ball mill where the gold can get behind the liners and such. Anything where gold could possibly collect would be a good place to check. Even like plumbing, if there's like dead spots or whatever, it can collect gold also. So that's always a good thing to look at. Now, I'd say we don't really know exactly what we're going to do when we get there. We're just assured after the 10th we'll have a residence available at a reasonable cost. Again, we're going to have to go up the stairs, but oh well. You'll have a nice view of the snow. And hi, First Squadron. Let's say it'll be a secure location. This is not a normal transit in order to get to work. Merry Christmas too, First.
Merry Christmas, everybody, and hi. And I'm coordinating with people who are taking a tourist trip to D.C. January 6th.
Mm-hmm.
Very good time of the year to see Washington.
Yeah, it's very pretty with the snow. But anyhow, Eva's intuition, Wolfman 76 says hi, Eva. Eva's intuition is often right when she has no specific reason to be right. And she's been getting very hinky now I may just be picking it up from her, but I'm getting a little hinky too. I'd rather be someplace else. And so the plan is to just get up there and they smoking. I'm a little tired for rowdiness, but you guys get as rowdy as you want. That's entirely possible. First, she's been dead twice, so I take what she says seriously. In this case, I've seen in the past where sometimes things don't work out the way she wants, but by following her advice, things worked out pretty well. So I'm not terribly worried. We're going to make sure that we get a good weather window, and short of mechanical failure en route, there shouldn't be anything that'll stop us. Because even if we have to park, we could always just do so and wait a day or two for the weather to clear. But in January, we should be able to get 4 or 5 days of clear weather without too much difficulty. That should be fairly good. The storms usually come about a week apart, so it shouldn't be too hard to do that. The concern is how soon we need to go to achieve our purpose. Yeah, Lars, often that's correct. So we've got the COVID situation, the political situation. We're worried that they may have some kind of travel restrictions that pop up for little or no purpose, things like that. We just don't know. So we'll be watching the situation. I've committed to selling fireworks through New Year's Eve, and I think New Year's Day or the day after, we have they come to collect all the fireworks that didn't sell. But I would like to be prepared to depart immediately thereafter. If the weather is good, we could theoretically make it in 2 days, although we're planning on 3. As old as I am, it's just easier if I do it in 3 days. About 1 day to get to Utah, next day to get to Idaho, and the third day to get to the end. And
Cobb County's being ridiculous again.
Yeah, we may have a little stop in Twin Bridges, Montana. Somebody wants to say hi up there. Maybe a few hours, maybe a day. I don't know. Can you ship fireworks to California? I can't ship them through the mail. This is Phantom Fireworks, and they've got this whole system where it's on pallets. I'm at my stand. A truck will show up, and Ethan, maybe permanently, do not know. The truck will show up. They'll offload the pallets. There's an inventory sheet. We go through the inventory sheet, and there's, go through all this stuff and make sure it's there. And then I set up the stand, and by afternoon, I'm actually selling fireworks. Every evening, I'm either going to have to stay at the stand to guard the fireworks, or I got to put it all in boxes and back in there's a rental container there that's lockable. And then I can come home, but it can't be left out. So depends on what's happening and how I feel. And say I've done it before where I just stayed there. It's like, yeah, takes an hour and 15 minutes to pack everything in, and another hour and 15 or hour and a half to drag it back out again. I'll just sleep here. With the Tobago, that option is reasonably comfortable, so it's not a problem. And I say we'll just kind of see how it goes. But so that's my evil plan, to be ready for departure then, which means Christmas Day. Yeah, it's just regular commercial public grade fireworks. Yeah, not I think
Nothing real.
the biggest explosive thing they have is like a little thing you throw at the ground and it goes bang. That's about the explosive yield of maybe a black cat or less. And everything else is like fountains and sparklers and things like that. You were born in Utah, and you was learned how to speak there too, I guess, huh? Hey, David. Yeah, the I-15 route up through Utah is pretty much high speed, low drag, small mountains, intermittently the whole way. So, yeah, but smoking, motion sensors in the tent don't do any good if nobody's there to react to them. That's the thing. I mean, it's 20 miles from my house. So I could easily put motion sensors in the tent if I'm sleeping there. And I say, we shall see what we shall see as to how I feel. Depends on how sleepy I am and stuff like that. So there's times where I know at least one night last year I just slept at the tent and said, screw it.
I think it was 2.
Yeah, I agree, winging it. Yeah. Yes, sleeping with the motion sensors is fine, although I don't know if I actually need it. We'll say we shall see, but a motion sensor works fine. They make little motion sensor alarms. Not sure what you're working at this late at night, Cherokee, but glad to see you. And we will do our best to stay safe and in one piece.
Cherokee. Hi, winging it. Hi, everybody.
So that's basically the plan in terms of what we're expecting to do. And it should be a relatively straightforward trip, assuming something external doesn't get in our way, like a COVID shutdown or something. I mean, this is just some weird crap going on right now. So I have no idea what the situation's going to be. Rural Utah, I'm not worried about. Salt Lake City, I guess if you go through there, at 7 o'clock in the morning, you're probably not going to run into trouble because all the rioters are in bed. So I don't know what the situation is, but we'll monitor things carefully as we go and avoid any trouble to the best extent possible, be it weather related or person related. But really concerned about maybe a COVID lockdown sort of thing. So we may need to get up there as quick as we can. I do not know. We will just monitor the news carefully and kind of go with our guts. Does fiberglass make a good top for a shaker table? Nothing wrong with it. You will need to make sure that the grooves and such are molded properly, or if you're going to put something on it. You also need to make sure it's rigid enough, so it may need some bracing underneath it to keep it from flexing. If it's just a single layer of fiberglass, it can bounce, okay? It can do stuff like this, and that will destroy the effect. It has to be rigid. And I've dealt with this with, I tried sheet metal for a tabletop once, and I call it twang. And where you've got something where you're using the interface between the material and the table to do the separation like a wave table would do, or like a Deister or a Wilfley table would do. You've got to avoid that vertical bounce. So it's got to be braced, or it's got to be on something thick enough that it just can't flex like that. Like if you took fiberglass and put it on, an inch of plywood, that would probably do it. You could build a frame, but if it's thin enough, you really have to cross brace it on a very, very tight thing. I mean, I think I had to do it like on 6-inch centers, something like that. Battery operated motion alarm, Harbor Freight, $14.99. That doesn't sound like a bad idea, does it, little one?
That sounds like a great idea.
As I was actually going to go to Harbor Freight tomorrow too, by the way.
See, synchronicity strikes again.
Sounds like the Lord is giving me a message. Yea, verily.
Tomorrow is the day we enter Aquarius.
Oh. Yeah, there's some big conjunction going on tomorrow too, I guess.
The great conjunction in the house of Aquarius. We are both Aquarians. This is astrologically amazing.
Fine, where's my pen?
No, here's mine.
Okay.
You can have mine.
That's being done. So that's being done. What we got here? Small sledge. Oh. Yeah, there's a crease on my thing here. Motion sensor. That could come in handy even when we're just camping or whatever too. Yep. Bear shows up or something like that. So thank you very much. Horrible Freight is better than Homeless Depot.
Yeah,
It's cheaper.
I won't dispute that one.
Smoking, I'm very happy that I'm able to help. That's why I number them. I say it gets pretty confusing at times, and that's what it's for. That's what I enjoy, helping people and teaching people. So you're most welcome. And I say that's what I'm doing it for. It gives me other secondary benefits too, such as the opportunity to go places and do things. There's somebody near Mount Shasta that also has a place to stay and a project to work on. The problem there is it's in the People's Republic of California, which I just like to avoid right now. That's another place where you have large numbers of people of different persuasions in close proximity, which could get
Antisocial.
they could get dynamic, and I'm old. I don't do dynamic real well anymore. So say I would like to do the right thing societally. But right now, it seems running away is perfectly reasonable. Sometimes discretion is the better part of valor. Hey, Chris, you made it.
Hi, Chris.
Wow.
Woohoo.
YouTube's censoring me again. Yeah, for all you latecomers, there's a video by Bill Whittle. And I think it's Moving Back to America 5, MB2A5. Where he suggests that since they like to do cancel culture and stuff, among other things, suppose all of the makers just stop dealing with the takers, wouldn't hire them, wouldn't sell to them. Might be interesting, and it's an interesting thought, if they're gonna. It was really boring, Chris. I don't know how many trees I sold today, but I'm sure I could count them on one hand. From Eva left at 5, roughly?
About 4:30 or 5.
About 4:30. Yeah, I got my next customer just before 8. And I'm not so sure there, first. I didn't say it was going to be easy. But as Bill Whittle said, we can live without them a lot easier than they can live without us. So, man, I wish I sold all the trees smoking. No, I've got
Probably.
about 50 trees standing on stands with water and, you know, displayed and everything, about 20 trees laying on the ground. I was hoping this week that on this weekend I'd get like about 20 trees a day sold, you know, 15, 20 trees a day. And that would, you know, leave me with less than 50. They'd all be stood up and, you know, it'd be okay because this next week is not going to be very busy. The location I'm at, and it's not real visible from the road itself. I mean, it's really close to a major road, but there's these gigantic mesquite trees there. You can't even see that stupid tent. I've got flags out on the road and this and that, but I was really shocked at how slow it was today. I mean, I'm not sure if I sold 4 trees or not all day long. And this is a Sunday. This is a weekend. The weekend before Christmas. And in Tucson, all the trees are sold, you know, at Home Depot and Fry's and all that stuff. I might try that tomorrow, Chris. It's not that easy. I'm not sure if it's legal or not, but I don't think it would be a big problem. But I might do that. I was pretty much shocked today. Yeah, I'm not sure. Somebody comes by and picks up the trees, and I'm not sure what they do with them. But I do know that last year I had a pile of trees, at least 50 trees, laying on the ground. And it was heartbreaking. There was one tree. It was a 12-foot tall noble fir. Beautiful shape like this. Must have weighed 350 pounds. I just cut it up with a chainsaw because I couldn't handle the whole tree in one piece and threw it on the pile. Just heartbreaking. Hey, John, how's it going? So I say that's just that disturbs my wah to throw away that many. I mean, I got some nice trees out there. There's some pretty trees, but I can't sell them if there's nobody to sell them to. And I got a pretty good sale rate. I mean, we either have people showing up that really want to buy something or that want to buy a cheap tree. And when you say, you know, they say, how much does a tree cost? And for a 6-foot tree, about $100. And they're like, ah, because they're used to, you know, like Home Depot and stuff, where they can get them for like 40, but they're all dry and this and that and the other. It's different, totally different quality situation. So I don't blame them for being shocked. And there's people who can't afford a tree like that. There's people who are squeezed monetarily and literally can't afford that. And I understand that situation. But they're not my trees. It's not my lot. Got to follow the rules. Today, the boss texted everyone and said, you can go ahead and start doing some discounting now. And that's good. That helps. But yeah, there's no way I'm going to come close to selling all those trees by Christmas. Ain't going to happen. If I even get it down to 50, I'll be happy.
I just wish
Well-
the last of my wreaths would sell.
Yeah, that was a pretty one you made. Should have brought it home so we could show it. No, take it back. Stimulus checks are coming. Yeah.
$600.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
wow. We didn't take the last ones. We won't take these ones.
that'll help some people, you know. But if you need that money, are you going to go out and buy $100 Christmas tree with it? If you don't need the money, is it going to change your behavior?
Well, what's funny is when Nancy Pelosi said last time that $1,200 was a pittance, and this time she's saying $600 is generous.
Well, you know, how can you tell when a politician's lying? His mouth is moving. There's another thing I heard. I don't know for sure where it came. I know where I heard it. It was in, wasn't it in Stranger in a Strange Land? An honest politician?
Yeah, I believe so.
I believe so. Robert Heinlein book, Stranger in a Strange Land. If you haven't read it and you like science fiction, it's awesome, especially when you realize it was written in the 50s. But the joke was, you know, he's an honest politician, or no, an honest judge, I think. And the guy says, there's no such thing as an honest judge. He said, sure, an honest judge is one who stays bought.
Well, that was
Just like a
standard in
politician.
ancient Rome for politicians. If you sold yourself, you stayed bought.
Yeah. So, essay. It's been a bit frustrating this week, especially as I am on a commission sort of deal. And so this is not going to help. We're not going to make near the money this year we did last year, guaranteed. Should make enough to get up to Montana. But yeah, I agree, Chris. Heinlein was a fantastic author. The one book you do not want to read of his is For Us, the Living. It was his first attempt. It was horrendous. I write better than that. But apparently, it was never published in his day. It was published after his death. And he learned a lot from that. I could tell. A lot of the stuff he was putting forth in it, you can see how he worked it into later books. But that first one was horrendous. Just horrible. But he very, very quickly became one of the best science fiction writers of all time. I don't know, Chris. For Us, the Living, I never even finished it. Okay? That's how bad it was as far as I was concerned. Okay?
I did.
Is it a good story, little one? Even if it's horribly written?
It is horribly written. I found the premise to be fairly. It was an unusual departure from his later Heinlein because he actually was seriously entertaining the idea of a one-world economy.
But it was much more didactic.
Yes, it was.
In For Us, the Living. Later part was much better. Could be, Chris, but he lost me.
It was my least favorite of his, followed by the Number of the Beast.
Yeah, Number of the Beast was not very good too. It was right after it was his first book after his stroke, and he used a different format where he was going from like four major characters, one to the other. Basically, the story is seen by four people, but each phase was told in a different person's voice and from them. And I didn't like that either. The story itself, I didn't find very appealing either. And hey, Sailing, how's it going? Number of the Beast was pretty strange, Chris. I agree, but he got his groove back. He definitely did. He wrote some amazing stuff, especially when you consider the time he wrote it in, like Stranger in a Strange Land in the 50s. Wow, that's pushing the limits. Main page is 12-12-20. Okay. It's supposed to be 12-20-20. Okay, thank you, Forrest. I'll see about switching that when I'm done here. I don't want to try doing anything now, or I'll probably just screw it all up. How's it going, Forrest? We should be frolicking through in a couple of weeks, but not Nevada. Plan is to go up, just straight up the interstate through Flagstaff, from Flagstaff to Page over to I-15, and then up. Verde Valley has some serious grade. There's a short grade just south of Page that's pretty serious in terms of steepness, but about 2 miles at 6%. There's a serious downgrade going into Hurricane. And then we're on the I-15, and it's pretty much high-speed, low drag from there to Helena. We are going to divert at Dillon, head a little bit further east, and avoid the mountains between Butte and Helena. Those are some serious, serious mountains there. And I do not like those mountains when I'm pulling the damn Beluga. Even though I'm going to have as light as possible this trip, it's I just want to minimize the strain on the vehicle and get there. Again, this is not a fun trip. This is exfiltration from a potential danger zone. I want to get my valuables to safety.
That would be me. That would be me.
Yeah.
I am the valuable around here.
Yep. Yeah, Wolfman, that's a serious downgrade there at Hurricane going down. But from Page, if you take like 89 to Fredonia and then drop down to 89A or vice versa, I'm not sure which, you avoid all the mountainous stuff. You got to do that little 4-mile jog. If you go from I think it's 89 through Marble Canyon and up through there. Oh, that's just a horrible, windy, take forever road up by North Rim. And then if you take the northern route from Page, everything's fine until you get, again, to Fredonia. And then from there, if you try and take that route into Hurricane, you got to go through Zion National Park. And I say it can be, all I want to do is get there with minimum risk and minimum time and minimum fuel. People from W do not believe there is 20, 30 mile downgrades out there. Oh, really? Well, Chris can tell you, but over by his place, there's this little thing called Donner Pass that kind of sucks. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. But yeah, once we get on the 15 there, it's just high speed, low drag. And there's some uppy and downy stuff, but it's relatively short. And a lot of it isn't really steep. I mean, you're looking at 4% or 5% grades, not 6. So it's not bad at all. And there's truck stops all along the route. Relatively decent altitude. I mean, you max out around 6,500 feet or something in places. And, yeah. Yeah, once we get on the 15 at Hurricane, it'll be good. And until we, Butte to Helena sucks. That's some mountainous crap there. Don't go Butte to Helena if you're towing or if you don't like some steep grades, because it's up and it's down and up and down. Nasty. There's a road you can go from Dillon to Boulder and then just take from Boulder up over the hill to Helena, and that's not near as bad. That's just one upgrade, and then it's nothing but downgrades from there. Donner isn't even close to the nastiest pass around. No, but it's pretty long upgrade and downgrade. Either Dasher or Prancer. Okay. Yeah, smart Alex. Ouch. Oof. That hurt. Shoulder still ain't perfect. But it's getting better. Oh, I'm getting hot in this thing. Cover your eyes, girls. Oh, I can't take the heat. If you can't take the heat, get out of the long sleeve shirt. Oh. Idaho Rogers, how's it going, Idaho? You know, we still haven't met, have we? Oh, we wanted to get together a couple years ago. Ooh. Tioga, yeah, but Tioga is not a freeway. Yeah, Tioga is pretty crazy. I would agree with that. Hills and curves are fun in a nice, nimble little car with plenty of power. In a big, giant camper towing a trailer that has had mechanical problems in the past that make me nervous, not so much fun. I used to run Tioga a few times every spring and fall, usually with a trailer. Yeah, Tioga's a pretty serious little road there. Oh, I'm very, very nervous if there was ice on the road. I'm going to try and keep it daytime running. You know, start out. Once we get to 15, shouldn't be too bad. Just the traffic ought to keep it pretty clear no matter what. But the I-15 should be pretty clear unless it's actively snowing or has in the last few hours. So I'm not too worried about that. But if there's snow on the road, we're parking it. I've wound up in the median before. It's not a fun place. Okay, Idaho, sounds like a plan to me. Yeah, that would be fun to do one of those races. I'm too old now. I don't bounce as good as I used to. Eva would love to be in a demolition derby sometime too. And I doubt her body could handle it now either, but both of them look like a blast. Jesus in the back. Hey, dude, if I could get Jesus, yeah, we wouldn't need to gold mine. That's right. We'd be doing great. Now we could put a little bobblehead Jesus on the dashboard. You know, Chris, I've been pretty sleepy at times, but not with a trailer. There was one time my brother and I were hauling salmon up and down the West Coast. The guy we were working for was buying them from the Indians at the mouth of the Klamath River during the season. They'd gill net them, clean them, ice them, bring them to us, and then we'd put them in big totes that would hold 1,000 pounds of salmon, champagne down, in salt water and ice, and then haul them up and down the coast. And there was a few times there where I was sleepier than I should be. I remember one time just south of Eureka, I pulled over on a wide spot in the road and parked the truck and turned it off and sitting there sleeping in the thing. And all of a sudden, I woke up and it's like, oh my God, I'm driving. And I slam on the brake and I'm like, why is the engine running? Didn't I shut that up? The reefer came on. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Let's see.
Well, Mittens is in the news again.
Go down to the border and change your pronunciation. You'll get plenty of them. I'm not sure what that means. It usually doesn't hurt. Ren Fair production, were you putting on the Ren Fair, or do you mean like a movie recording? Never hit the brake when you wake up. Yeah, my brother one time, he was in a old Datsun 240Z, and he was driving down from Sholo, Arizona, got to the Salt River Canyon, and it had some of those old 1930 WPA stone walls along this, the pullouts and everything. And he was tired, so he thought, I'll stop. And so he pulled up to the wall and shut it down and everything and went to sleep. And while he was sleeping, the full moon came up. And it's a steep canyon. They call it the Little Grand Canyon for a reason. He woke up and all he saw in front of him was air. He says, I screamed and just about broke off the brake pedal, and the adrenaline got me another 2 hours. No problem. Can you bring a very small sample of Montana ore when you come so I can look at what you're working? I don't see a problem with that, Jimmy. Are you the one in Twin Bridges?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yep. But yeah, I was going to process some of that. I got one bucket. I was going to just try processing and running it over the new concentrator just to see how well it worked before packing everything up. But I can keep a little bit out so that it's not, run through there. As a matter of fact, I'll probably wash a little bit of the coarser stuff and then put it in a plastic bag. Thanks for saying something. Okay. Idaho, when you got the right rig and you've got the practice, ain't no problem. When you're from the desert and you don't have the right rig, not so much. I was thinking, if I had 4-wheel chains on that Bago, and I'll probably get one set of chains before I take off just for emergency sort of thing. But if I had 4-wheel chains on that Bago, I've got that 6-inch channel iron front bumper. I bet you we could put a snowplow on that baby and make some money clearing driveways. Yep. Yeah, Gulfstream, I would say you get used to it. Plus, again, things like studded tires and this and that. But if you're not used, like, you come down here and try some sand. We'll see how you do. You know? Bring a gallon. Okay, tell you what. If you want to actually run it over a table, then I was going to pulverize it. So I'll keep some of the pulverized stuff before I run it over mine. I might bring some of the tailings too. Why not? You have to have chains and a shovel, huh? That's a good, interesting thing. I generally will have a shovel, and I say I want chains. I've had them get me out of trouble before, and I was thinking that beast. It's heavy. It's got that 400 in it. It's got 4-wheel drive, and with that big front bumper like that, it should be easy to hook up a couple of snowplow mounts. No, Eva doesn't like whips with the chains. Sorry, Lars. Bring an extra trailer hub and bearings. Don't have the extra trailer hub, but I do have extra bearings, and I check their heat. Hi, If. How's it going?
Hi.
Is there anything kitty litter can't do? I don't know. The kitty litter I use, you get it wet, it turns to slime.
No, we have to buy a bag of regular clay kitty litter for this.
Why not sand? What is it for?
It's for traction in snow,
Yeah, grip, sand.
sand.
Sand works good.
So we'll buy a bag of sand. We'll bring that bag of Epsom salt with us too. That's good for dissolving snow.
Yeah, since we got it. Yeah, it will. It'll dissolve.
We've got,
Nice for you.
I think we've also got a 50-pound bag of regular salt.
Don't know, but the Epsom salt, I know we got like a 25 pound bag.
Yeah.
Say the plan is basically if the roads get icy, just park it. No need to, unless there's some external reason that's really pushing us to get there, and we're not, close. Except for external pressure, I don't see any reason to drive on icy roads at all. We'll wait for a weather window. If for some reason weather closes in, we just park at a truck stop and stay there for a day or two. Well, if you want to try it, it can't hurt. Let's see. Do I have my address here? Yeah. Sure, Sailing. I'll give it a shot as long as it gets here before we take off. Here's my address. Now, I appreciate it. I'll sure give it a try and see what happens.
What is Sailing sending?
Some ointment for the shoulder.
Oh, cool. What kind?
A hardcore 11, you are absolutely correct. It will mash if it's a big enough piece of gold. Let me know if you didn't get that, Sailing. Yes, it's a perfectly effective way of testing. You do have to be careful, though, that it's not brass or something. Had a video a short time ago where we got some brass contamination. And yeah, I agree, Idaho. Chains are for getting to a safe place, not for traveling. Yeah, you can't go very fast with them either. Mojo, not right now. I'm going to be leaving here real shortly. Once I get up to Montana, you could ship it there, but I'm planning on being there for like 6 to 9 months. So I could easily test it up there, but not down here. Chris, I'd love to. I'm working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. Makes it kind of tough. Yep. Yes, plenty of things will mash, but they're pretty much metallic. So the other thing is once if it does mash, then throw it in like nitric acid. If it fizzes, it ain't gold, Yeah, come take my place in Canuckistan. I'll trade you for Arizona. Maybe so. I say it's not the weather we're going for. Trust me. Yes, Idaho. Due to the external political and social situation, us being in a purple state in a more blue area with all the hoorah going on right now, Eva's gut is telling her it would be a good idea to get
strategic withdrawal is in order.
Well, we call it an exfiltration. But yeah, the idea is to get up to Montana. We have a place to stay. We got some work to do. And we're going to go up there in a few months anyhow. Just head up there early. I can get other work if needed, and we'll go from there. But yeah, the idea is to head up to Montana early in January to mid-January. We'll monitor the situation and see how things are going. They may start, well, next week they're going to put in a COVID restriction. You can't travel anymore. Well, then we'd have to get up there, that sort of thing. Let's see. Test gold by doing it. No, not doing acid. Using the acid on the gold. Okay, big difference there. Yep, that's correct, Sailing. I was looking for you earlier. Did it again and missed the beginning. Well, yeah. Mining is an essential service, but I don't think they'll go for that. Not sure. Really? Blackfoot, Idaho. Little one?
Yeah.
When you get back, could you look up Blackfoot, Idaho on your magical electron herd device?
Blackfoot, Idaho.
Blackfoot, Idaho.
Probably plenty of snow.
70% nitric. I dilute it to 35. Fuming nitric is a little strong. 35 is plenty good. Yeah, Catherine. A long time ago, I've tried that out.
Just north of Pocatello
Yeah, we're gonna be running right through there, Idaho.
on I-15. We'll be running right through there.
Right through there. So yeah, that'd be cool. Kind of keep an eye on the channel. We don't know the departure date. Would love to stop by and see you. And we'll just have to see. Again, if it wasn't for all the external possibilities pushing us, we'd be going probably departing on the 11th, because the accommodations will become available on the 11th. And you know, in a normal situation, you don't leave until you know your accommodations are available.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what RFNA is, Georgia. Red fuming nitric acid, I'll bet. Yeah. That's some pretty reactive material.
Great, so we get to meet Idaho too. Cool.
So when you smash the gold, it doesn't break up. It can come into little pieces, but it won't powder. If you have any kind of sulfite like chalcopyrite and you hit it, it just instantly turns to powder. It breaks kind of like glass or like a quartz sandwood or something like that. Whereas gold could break into a few chunks, but the few chunks that it does, it'll tend to be flat also. Okay. Do we have Instagram? Not to my knowledge. Little one, do we have Instagram?
No, we don't have Insta.
Okay.
Well, technically, I probably have Insta, but I've forgotten the information because it's Facebook, and I'm going to get rid of that too.
We can give you our phone number if needed. I think I've got your, I don't know if I've got your email address. Mine is hardrocku@outlook.com. So if you haven't emailed me something, then you can email me that, and I'll have your email address. And we should exchange phone numbers, because that way it'll be a lot easier. Catherine Davidson, I'm an urban gold miner. Are you sure that's not a gold digger? Not sure. Not saying anything. Not judging. Just questioning.
E-waste
Uh,
or metal detecting?
okay. Yeah, if you hammer really good specimen gold, you really ruin the quality. I do have a towing service on my car insurance. Yeah, that makes sense, Catherine. Do you have any tips for a chainmail? I built one, but we kind of over tested it and bent the shaft. It was only, yeah. If you bent the shaft, it's either too small a shaft, or it's, poorly supported. You had an unbalanced situation or whatever. I had an impactor crack the weld on mine. It's kind of a paddle wheel sort of thing, but I use an actual. It's a shaft from the bearing belt and chain company there. So I presume it's not a soft iron. I mean, soft steel. It's some kind of alloy, maybe heat treated. And Eva's a real gold digger. Yeah, she had to put up with me. Poor girl. Yeah, Patrick, that's kind of where there's so much stuff going on right now. You have the election, you've got the hack, you've got COVID shutdowns, who knows what, you know? E-way spins. Well, good, Catherine. Yeah, I believe I used 1 inch on mine also, and I haven't seen a problem. Use proper shafting. I presume, Chris, this means use something that is actually manufactured as a shaft. Yeah. Hi, Trevor. Merry Christmas to you. Why avoid Nevada? It's a straighter run. That's all. I mean, we could go up through Kingman, through Vegas, and then around, but I save, I don't know, 100 miles by going straight up from Tucson, then just jogging over to 15 and then up. It's actually a pretty straight route, and most of it's pretty high speed, low drag, you know. So far, my shaft hasn't been a problem. It's only supported at one end, but by 2 bearings, and so far I haven't seen a problem with that. It's a 1 inch, but it's not going to bend much in the center because it's got stuff welded to it, which would brace it too. And yeah, Idaho, that's kind of what we think. Will a normal keyed shaft work? Should, absolutely. Yeah, a keyed shaft should be fine. Don't make the key take the impact, okay? Yes, balance is important. Rubber Lovejoy connector. It wouldn't hurt, but in my case, I've just got a solid paddle wheel impactor, a straight round shaft through 2 pillow block bearings to a pulley. And I haven't had any problems with the shaft or the bearings to this point. You know, Forrest, I understand what you're saying, but even in the 60s, we had people that were, 2 different sides, but they were both pro-American, so to speak. And now we've got one side that doesn't seem to be too pro-American. They're more globalist. So I just... Hey, William. I hope you're having a good time. It's probably about morning over there, I would think, just about on the other side of the world. We got a guy from Saudi Arabia, little one.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I say mine has pulleys, so that'll take the shock out of the motor's not getting shocked, you know. Well, thank you, William. I'm glad I'm being helpful. Uh, I am currently feeding essentially about a ½ inch minus. I have a 3/4 inch grizzly on it, so nothing bigger than 3/4 by 3/4 can get in. Although I've had some stuff that's ½ inch by an inch or two, not 2 inch and a quarter maybe, and doesn't seem to be a problem with mine. Lovejoy keeps sliding apart. Okay. 2.5 inch rocks, huh? How big is your mill, Gulfstream? I agree. First, that's what they're trying to do, but I think they've reached a point of maximum division where basically now they're breaking up themselves, because like you have the fourth wave feminists against the second wave feminists, and the trans exclusionary radical feminists versus the fourth wave, and I say it's getting, they're having trouble keeping their side together, and it's just 16 inches. Yeah, 2-inch rock's pretty big for that. But I got 24-inch diameter. Yeah, this whole thing is just bizarre. But I mean, it's the sort of thing where when you have one side that's literally,
They're functionally psychotic.
yeah, as Eva says, functionally psychotic, i.e., they're not in touch with reality. Yeah, I'm going to be making more crushers, Forrest. Yep. Yeah, Mojo, that is the issue with Hard Rock Gold. It is pretty fine. That's what I'm working on, maybe a few other beers. Let's see. Yeah, gold and pyrite are often seriously connected. Yeah, you may concentrate the pyrite after you get what gold you can on it, then roast the pyrite and then process it again, see what you get. Sometimes you get a lot more gold that way. Bunch of snot-nosed 20-something-year-olds that don't want to get jobs. Yeah, a lot of that going around.
Oh, wow.
I bought a gold medallion in Saudi Arabia. I don't like them now. Have it. Sweet.
That is crazy.
What's wrong with their reality, comrade? Anyone who's been married knows there is a difference between men and women. Trust me. If you want to think of something really funny, imagine if Trump got up one morning and 4 o'clock got on his little Twitter thing and said, I just had this amazing dream. I was a woman and it was fantastic. So since, according to lefties, you can choose your gender, for the next week, I'm going to choose to be a woman to see how it all works out. And that way, I'll be the first female president. And because I still think Melania is hot, I'll also be the first gay president. And then watch their cognitive circuits fry. I'm looking for about $1,500 for one of mine is kind of the price range I'm looking for. Well, that's entirely possible, Catherine. I'm just saying that this whole gender is a choice thing. I mean, sexual preference is a choice, but gender is a biological reality. Even if you're intersex, that's a biological reality.
Not according to Harvard anymore.
Yeah, well,
Harvard last week announced that they want to remove genders from birth certificates because they're not useful in a clinical setting. Just so you know.
oh yeah, sure. Doctors don't need to know if it's a male or a female. Going to be interesting to see them do abdominal surgery.
Speaking of abdominal surgery.
Nope. British got woman of the year. Time to pregnancy test everyone who comes in the clinic. Sure, why not? I might be pregnant instead of just fat.
Then we'd be rich.
Yep. Oh my goodness. Ooh, I gotta be up at 7 in the morning, so I got about another 30 minutes. So am I on acid, or are we really talking about this? So far, we're getting away with it.
Yeah, I won't tell you the other things that have been in the news. I am reading the only real news on the web.
Yeah, I forget what the name of that crusher was. Somebody sent me a link to one similar to it, I think the last live stream, but it was the same one they were using up there with okay. I break for bedrock, you know. And I was surprised at how efficient that little thing was. It did a pretty good job of beating the crap out of that rock in a big hurry. Oh. So, anyhow, we got anything else? First, the media is definitely making it vastly worse by simply not telling the truth fairly even-handedly. You can have differing opinions on certain things, but certain things are facts. And to cover up certain facts while making other statements which are absolutely false and impossible not to know they're false if you've done even basic research, that's some pretty serious stuff.
In other words,
Yeah.
in other news, Beethoven is black. Just thought you'd like
Beethoven is black, really?
Beethoven is black.
He probably is by now.
Yeah, Beethoven's black and Helen Keller is privileged.
Yep, I know, they sure do. Yeah, I was quite surprised, Gulfstring, at how effective that chain flail seemed to be. Yeah, Brett You Ate It, I believe, has 2 C's, Gulfstream. Bye now, sailing. You're an albino black guy, huh? The news media is amok. Which town, Catherine? Not very. I'm sure Chris is. He's real close to there. An alabaster American. Not bad. I like that one. I think I'm melanin deprived, you know, or challenged. Melanin challenged. How's that? Melanin challenged. That I have a disability. I'm more susceptible to skin scan. I'm melanin challenged. Yeah. Now, sailing, I don't know if you realize it, but your comment, I've seen it at least 5 times where it says, I'll mail it tomorrow and it should be there by Friday, I'd expect. I'll add a note, cheers. I don't know if you're doing that or the computer's doing that somehow or whatever. Smoking, I would go with a lot bigger than a 2-cup sample. Okay. And the bigger the sample, the more reliable it is. The smaller the gold, the more reliable the sample is. So those are just kind of the rules of the game. I normally on a hard rock gig, if it's easy to carry and get to and stuff, I like a half a bucket for a sample. Then I'll crush it and split it. But I've got a crusher that can do that easily. Yeah, you got to watch it with Chris, Catherine. The guy's smart. Oh. Well, it's been fun as usual. And you have to bring it home in your luggage. Well, if you can crush it and then split it first, then a 2-cup sample will be fine. We're all mentally challenged gold prospectors, huh? Good night, Jimmy.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, I saw the start. I didn't get a chance to see it. Again, I'm just totally swamped in terms of time requirements, which is why it's so frustrating to be out there for 12 hours and sell 5 trees. Gulfstream, we'll do our best. I'm more worried about making sure that the vehicle doesn't crap out somewhere along the way. Okay, Idaho, that sounds like a plan. Let me write a note here. Because, yeah, you are right on the route. There also, I think it's north of Pocatello, there's another, they've got a, what do you call it? An Army surplus store there that looks pretty interesting.
If it's open, COVID.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. What's the COVID stuff going on in Utah and Idaho right now? Anyone know? I'm sure Idaho knows what's going on in Idaho. He probably knows what's Utah too, because he's long haul. You're welcome, Aries. We enjoy it.
Good night, Aries.
Yeah, we saw it driving by, but we didn't have time to stop the last time. Don't let him go to that surplus store. Oh, she'll handle the money. But it'd be nice to know what's there. So, Idaho, do you know what the COVID rules are and are being contemplated in Utah and Idaho? Nobody cares, master option. That's good. As long as they don't tell us we can't go, I'm not terribly worried. Utah, I think, would be pretty. I'm thinking maybe Arizona may be the toughest one to get out of, because we've got a governor that sucks, and so we'll see what happens there. But anyhow, that is our evil plan. And we'll keep in touch next Sunday. Between Christmas and New Year's, we'll have a much better idea what's going on. And chat with you then. Blockade runner. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid. Okay, Forrest, thank you. I say as long as they don't physically prevent us from going, we shouldn't have a problem. Oh, geez. Sitting around all day long and now I'm tired. Yep. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Well, Merry Christmas to everybody. I hope you have a great holiday season. And we will talk to you next week. You all know how to get a hold of me if you need to. And we'll go from there. Happy prospecting and keep it safe out there.